November 8, 2010. A quiet neighborhood in Markham, Ontario. Nothing seemed unusual until a terrified young lady dialed emergency services. My parents have been shot. She sounded panicked. She said armed men had broken into the house, tied her up, killed her mother, and shot her father. For police, it looked like another tragic home invasion. But over the next few days, tiny details began refusing to fit. There was no forced entry. Nothing valuable had been stolen. The attackers ignored expensive jewelry, ignored cash, and left behind something investigators would never ignore. A daughter whose story kept changing. Months later, detectives would sit across from the same young woman for nearly 5 hours. They didn't yell, they didn't accuse, they simply waited, while one carefully constructed lie collapsed into another. By the time the interrogation was over, one of Canada's most shocking murder plots had been exposed. This is the Jennifer Pan case.
Okay, Jennifer, I'm going to explain this sworn video statement form. And as we're now being recorded, this is not new to you. We've done this once before, okay? I want to before we get this, try and take that first interview that we had, which was, hours after what had transpired, put it aside. It's almost like we've never spoken before, okay? So we're starting afresh. We're starting from new. That way you're not going to say, I think I already told him that. Don't worry about what you've already told me. So, this is a statement of Jennifer Pan, and the incident number is, for the murder investigation, is 310188 of 2010. Jennifer, do you understand that everything that's being said in this room is being videotaped?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Randy Slade, and I'm a detective with the York Regional Police. My badge number is 531. There's no one else present in the room other than you and I, and monitoring this statement next to us is Deborah Gladding. Today is Thursday, November the 11th, 2010. The time on my watch is 9:43 in the morning. We are presently videotaping at 5 District in the town of Markham, in the regional municipality of York. Is there anything, we're back to this question again about, is there anything else I need to know in order to better understand your statement? And that is, do you suffer from any mental illness? Have you been drinking? Did you take any drugs?
No drugs, no drinking.
So there's nothing that's going to influence your statement?
Just a little nervous.
Don't be nervous, okay? I know that's tough to say, but don't be nervous. The truth is always the best way to relieve anxiety, okay? We're investigating an allegation of murder of your mom, Jennifer Pan. As a part of our investigation of this offense, I would like to interview on videotape and under oath, solemn affirmation or solemn declaration. It is my obligation to advise you of certain information before we commence this statement. Just want to... redundant, remember me telling you about that? So just to reiterate, we're in the middle, or starting the middle portion of the video KGB. I've just turned on my digital audio recorder just in case for fail-safe measures. It's now 9:45. We began the video statement portion at 9:43. And I'm just at the portion of the video statement form. Jennifer, can you spell your name for me?
Jennnifer.
And last name?
Pan.
Okay, so it's my obligation to advise you of certain information before we commence this statement. You may be a witness in court concerning the events you're about to describe in your statement. If at any time you change your statement or claim not to remember the events, the contents of this video statement you give now may be used as evidence in court. Do you understand?
Yes.
And for the audio recording, just to date it, it's the 11th of November, and I already said 9:45. These are the criminal code sanctions. Remember I told you the explaining of the facts of that there's certain penalties for not telling the truth or misleading the police. It's also my obligation to advise you that fabricating evidence with the intent to mislead is an offense under Section 137 of the Criminal Code. And if you give a false statement under oath, you may be charged with fabricating evidence. If convicted of fabricating evidence, you could be sentenced up to 14 years in jail. It is also an offense under Section 139 of the Criminal Code to obstruct by willfully attempting to obstruct, pervert, or defeat the course of justice. And you may be charged if you obstruct justice. If convicted of obstructing justice, you could be sentenced up to 10 years in jail. It is also an offense under Section 140 of the Criminal Code to commit public mischief by causing a police officer to start or continue an investigation by making a false statement that accuses some other person of committing an offense. And you may be charged if you commit public mischief. If convicted of public mischief, you could be sentenced up to 5 years in jail. If you are charged with one or more of the above offenses, this statement may be used as evidence against you. Do you understand the criminal sanctions I've explained to you?
Yes.
Do you understand the criminal consequences of making a false statement?
Yes.
Do you understand that it's your choice to whether or not you want to give a statement?
Yes.
Do you understand the importance of telling truth in regards to this investigation? If you've spoken to a police officer or any person in authority in connection with this investigation, I want it to clearly understood. I don't want it to influence you in making a statement. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you have any questions?
No.
Are you prepared to give a video statement under oath or solemn affirmation or declaration at this time?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to bring the commissioner in, and then we can get on with it.
Hello. I'm Sonia Ficini. I'm a commissioner, and I'm just going to swear you in for your statement, okay? Will you be swearing on the Bible, or will you... Okay. Just place your right hand there, please. And your first name is Jennifer?
Yes.
Last name of Pan?
Yes.
Okay. Do you, Jennifer Pan, swear or declare that the evidence that you give in this investigation shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sonia. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, as I said, what education level do you have?
Just a high school.
High school? Have you gone to any other like after school, a higher level of education? Have you been working towards anything?
I'm going back to school, and I have been working on a piano education.
Okay, there's no other education that you've sought, like you haven't gone to university at this point in time?
Jennifer Pan wasn't supposed to become the subject of one of Canada's most infamous murder cases. To everyone around her, she seemed almost perfect. She lived with her parents in an upper middle class suburb just outside Toronto. Her parents, Beach Harpen and Hui Han Pen, had immigrated from Vietnam. Like many immigrant parents, they believed education was everything. Success wasn't optional, it was expected. They worked tirelessly, hoping their children would have opportunities they never did. Jennifer was expected to excel. Every report card mattered, every grade mattered, every decision was worked carefully. Friends later described the Penn household as loving, but incredibly strict. Dating wasn't allowed, late nights weren't allowed, sleepovers weren't allowed. Freedom had to be earned. And Jennifer wanted something more than freedom. She wanted approval. As a child, Jennifer showed promise. She trained in piano. She competed in figure skating. She dreamed of becoming successful enough to make her parents proud. But somewhere during high school, that dream started slipping away. her grades began to fall. The pressure didn't disappear. Instead, it grew heavier. And rather than telling her parents the truth, Jennifer made a decision that would quietly change everything. She started lying. At first, the lies were small. A slightly higher grade. A test she said had gone well. A class she claimed she had passed. Then the lies became larger, much larger. She forged report cards. She created fake university acceptance letters. She invented scholarships. She even convinced her parents she was attending university when she wasn't. Every morning, Jennifer would leave home, pretending to attend classes. Instead, she spent hours at libraries, coffee shops, or with her boyfriend. For years, her parents never knew. Jennifer wasn't living two lives. She was living two completely different realities. And eventually, those realities were destined to collide. Every weekday, Jennifer Pan kissed her parents goodbye, picked up her backpack, and left home. To her parents, their daughter was on her way to college. She had earned admission. She was studying hard. Everything they had sacrificed for was finally paying off. But none of it was real. For nearly 2 years, Jennifer wasn't attending college at all. Instead, she spent her days in cafes, public libraries, shopping malls, and sometimes with the one person her parents had forbidden her to see, Daniel Wong. Jennifer and Daniel had met years earlier during high school. Unlike Jennifer, Daniel didn't fit the image her parents had imagined for her future. He had struggled in school. He had drifted into petty crime. Their relationship quickly became a source of conflict. Jennifer's parents demanded she end it. According to evidence later presented in court, they believed Daniel would derail her future. Jennifer promised them that it was over. It wasn't. Instead, the relationship simply went underground. They communicated in secret, late-night phone calls, text messages, meetups arranged while Jennifer was supposedly studying. The more her parents tightened their control, the more Jennifer hid from them. But keeping one lie alive requires another, then another. Soon, Jennifer wasn't simply lying about Daniel, she was lying about everything. She told her parents she had been accepted into university. She hadn't. She told them she was earning excellent grades. She wasn't. She claimed to have won scholarships. They didn't exist. She even created fake report cards, complete with convincing letterheads to make the deception believable. Jennifer carefully timed her daily routine. She left the house every morning, returned home in the evening, and talked casually about classes that never happened. Her parents never suspected a thing until one phone call. Eventually, someone from the university contacted the family. The truth began slipping through the cracks. Questions started coming in. Jennifer's carefully constructed world began collapsing. When her parents discovered she had never graduated, their trust shattered overnight. The consequences were immediate. They took away her phone, restricted her movement, monitored where she went, stopped allowing her to see Daniel. Jennifer was now 24 years old, yet according to friends, she felt trapped like a teenager. She had spent years constructing an imaginary life. Now the illusion was gone. But instead of admitting the truth, Jennifer made another choice, one far darker than all the lies before it.
This is going to be where I'm going to ask you to start from the day, okay, on the 8th, leading up until when the police become involved in an incident that takes place in your house. I want you to tell me about your day, what you do, your interaction with your parents.
What I can remember is when I woke up, had some breakfast, and I went upstairs to do some piano history, and I was on the computer.
What time is that around?
I'm not 100% sure.
Time isn't like, is it, you know, time is important, meaning is it in the beginning of the, is it morning, is the light out, or is it in the afternoon? Like
Probably maybe before noon.
Before noon, sometime before noon.
Yes,
Okay.
before noon. I play some Facebook games, so I was doing that, and then I stopped, and then I was doing some studying for my piano. Like I said, I was working towards a piano degree in teaching. So I was reading some history notes and going over some practice examination papers.
Who's in the house at that time?
My father has left for work and my mother's home.
Okay. Where's your mom? Do you know where she is?
Don't remember at this point.
Okay.
I'm getting the last few days all mixed up together. I believe she had left with my aunt to go and visit my grandfather that morning,
Okay.
or early afternoon. He is residing. He resided at Manchung Nursing Home, and he had just gotten back from the hospital Saturday.
Okay.
So she went in. I don't remember if she took my aunt, but she went in to see if she could see how the nurse got any updates on him, and see if she could feed him. When she had left, she had called me, and she asked me to come out because there were some police officers on the street. And I went out, and I asked, the police officers came up, and they said that there was a gas leak on our street, and to exit our house. So I said, if it would be possible, could I go in and grab a jacket, because I was still in just regular clothes. So I went in, and when I came out, my mother said that they wouldn't let her take out the car either. So we decided we were gonna walk across the street to a relative's house there. And before we could get to our relative's house, the officers got a message or a memo from their fellow officers saying that our side was secure and that it might be from another area. So from there, I went back into the house.
Do you remember what time that was?
Again, it was before noon.
Before noon. Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was before noon.
So before noon, and now your mom's come back from
No, not yet. She's on it. She was
leaving to go out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she left to go pick up my aunt and go in to my grandfather's, and I went back up on the computer to do a little studying, taking a break, and playing some games.
Do you remember speaking to anyone during the day on your phone or on Facebook?
Later on in the day, yes, I spoke to a longtime friend, Andrew, who I went to elementary school with. But just the usual, he just asked if we could hang out anytime soon, but I explained to him that I wasn't able to leave the house and I couldn't meet up with him. So I asked him how his life was, how his girlfriend, how his job was going. I believe that was later on in the day, though. That wasn't in the afternoon.
We'll go in later when we talk about your past, about why you couldn't leave the house. Okay, so that hasn't gone unnoticed, but we're not going to talk about that right now. We're talking about that day.
Okay.
So continue on.
I think my mom came home at about 3 or so. I'm not sure where she went with my aunt. She came home and unpacked and started preparing dinner. My father came home. My father came home about 4:20, 4:30. It was later than he usually does. He normally comes home about 10 to 4. When my mother asked him where he had been, he had said he had forgotten to lock his toolbox at work, or something about along the lines of he had to go back to work because he had forgotten to close something or lock something up.
Where does your dad work?
Kobe and Stell, it's Middlefield and south of Finch.
Okay, continue. So he's home now late at 4:20, 4:30.
4:30, and he phoned and asked my Uncle Nam if he wanted to go buy some like heat covers and a USB pen. So he immediately left, not shortly after that, maybe 4:30, a little bit after that. And on Monday nights, my mother goes dancing. So she had finished dinner, and me and her ate dinner first.
What time did you guys have dinner around?
5:30.
Mm-hmm.
And then then my father came home and he had dinner.
And what time did your dad get home?
I'd say sometime between 6 and 6:30 because my mother was able to clean up before going out to dancing.
When your dad comes home, do you remember seeing what type of bags he was carrying when he came in?
I wasn't downstairs when he came through the door. I had gone upstairs already.
Okay. So you don't know where he went shopping at?
All I know is that when I came down to greet him after he'd come home, he had shown me this heating cover that he had bought for the house.
Didn't have a label on it. You didn't
He
see?
took it out of the bag, or he just showed me the cover itself. He didn't. Like,
Did you see the USB stick?
I believe the USB stick was for my uncle. If they bought it or not, I
don't know.
I'm not sure.
Okay, so it's now 6 to 6:30 because your dad's now home and eating,
Mm-hmm.
and you say your mom cleans up.
Yeah, and then she leaves at 7, and my father goes up to his computer like he normally does.
Yes.
And he's on the computer watching like news. I'm not sure what he's doing. I'm in my room. Well, I believe at this point I had called my friend.
By the autumn of 2010, Jennifer Pan had run out of options. Her parents knew she had lied. They no longer trusted her. Her movements were monitored. She had little privacy. And according to evidence later presented in court, her relationship with Daniel Wong had become almost impossible to maintain. To Jennifer, it may have felt like her entire world was closing in. But the investigators would later argue that instead of accepting the consequences, she chose another path, one that would change several lives forever. Police would later uncover an unusual pattern. Jennifer wasn't just speaking to Daniel, she was also communicating with people connected to him, amongst them a man named Lemford Crawford and another named Eric Sniper Carty. As investigators pieced through the timeline, they believed these conversations were not random. According to the prosecutors, they were the early stages of murder conspiracy. Detectives already knew the answer. Phone records will later show connections that Jennifer insisted didn't exist. They weren't asking because they needed information. They were asking to measure the distance between Jennifer and the truth. Investigators believed the planning accelerated. Calls became more frequent. Meetings were allegedly arranged, and according to court testimony, money was discussed. The alleged target was Jennifer's own parents. The plan, according to prosecutors, was simple. Late at night, men would enter the Pan family home. Jennifer would appear to be another victim. The murders would look like a violent home invasion. Nothing would point back to her. If successful, Jennifer would inherit part of her parents' estates and perhaps the freedom she believed had been taken away from her. At least that was the prosecution's theory, based on the evidence presented in court. No one outside that home had an idea what was about to happen. Inside, Jennifer's parents prepared for another ordinary evening. Her mother, Bicha Pen, went to bed. Her father, Hui Han Pen, was relaxing downstairs. Jennifer waited. For months, this was the version Jennifer wanted everyone to believe. The random home invasion, an unimaginable tragedy. But detectives will soon discover that one witness has survived and his memory will change everything.
So we're back on track here. It's now, you're back on the phone. You've come from the washroom, taken the mute button off, and you're now on the phone with Edward.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your mom? Have you heard your mom come up the stairs? Is she still downstairs?
She's still downstairs.
She's still downstairs. Okay. Continue on.
I had my TV on because I was watching TV.
Yes.
I don't remember what show I was watching. I believe it was Amazing Race. I'm not 100% sure at this moment. But I was watching TV, and on the phone was Ed as well.
Okay.
And then the next thing I remember is my mother calling down for my father.
What is she saying?
She's calling him by his name and to come down.
Okay, so give us verbatim. What do you hear her saying? Is it in the Vietnamese, Chinese, or
Yes,
is it in English?
It's in Vietnamese.
Okay, and what do you hear her say?
In Vietnamese, she's like, Han ơi, xuống đây.
And what does that translate to?
That's my father's name, Han. Come down here.
Does she say anything else associated with that?
I can't hear clearly because, I was on the phone and the TV was on,
Sure.
but that's what I heard.
Is she yelling, or is it normal?
It's a loud. She's not yelling, but it's a loud tone.
Okay.
And normally that tone means that I need to go down and see what's happening. Usually, so that's when I told Edward, I was like, okay, I gotta go. I'll call you later, and I hang up the phone with him.
Have you heard anything else at this point in time?
As I'm hanging up the phone with him, I hear footsteps going up the stairs.
Okay.
But they're heavier footsteps than what is to be expected from my parents.
Okay.
And then I hear mumbling, and someone's in the master bedroom, and I hear the bed being tossed, and I just froze where I was. I have to say, I don't know how long they were in there, but I heard somebody go down the stairs. So at this point, I opened my door. I peered out, and there was a person in what would have been my brother's room.
And where's your brother's room located?
Just a little bit down I could see from my doorway to his doorway, just
Okay.
a little bit down the hall.
Okay.
And he looks at me and he pulls out his gun. And he walks towards me and sits me down on my bed. Because my bed is within a step from my door. And he's like, where's the money? Do you have any money? Give me your money. So I had some money that I had saved up from serving, and I was also planning on buying a new cell phone because my contract was finishing with Rogers. And the phone I'm currently using has not good reception, so I had about $2,000 saved up. And so I opened my drawer and I pointed at it, and he picked it up and took the cash and put it in his pocket. At this point, he ties my hands behind my back and he walks me out.
Okay, so stop right there for a second. Okay, I want you, now that you've got him right there, I want you to describe him to me. What you can remember, every little detail.
He was black with dreadlocks.
How long are the dreadlocks?
About
Show me on your own body where you would see them.
about shoulder length.
Okay.
But they were long enough that they were able to move. He's medium build, and he has slight When I was standing, I was almost eye level with him.
And you're how
When
tall?
he came up to me, I'm about 5'7".
Okay. Clothing?
All I could remember is dark clothing.
Now you've got a gun pointed at you.
Yes.
Describe
And then
the
he
gun.
told, okay, the gun was black with almost not a triangle, but it kind of tapered a little on the handle. And I would describe it as like what I see on TV for like police officers, kind of like a handgun sort of thing. And the whole time he kept telling me to look down, because my bedroom was dark, but the hallway was lit. So he kept telling me to look down, look down. At this point,
Any accent?
not from this particular person.
Does he sound like he was born and raised in Canada?
I would say that he was born in Canada, but it's like there was no sign of an accent in his.
And that's not what I mean culturally. I'm talking about the language. You know, you can tell someone who's spent a long time as a young age from starting, because there is no, it's normal speech. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. And at this point now he's behind me. He had grabbed me at the shirt and he had pulled me in front of him and was pushing me towards the stairs.
Okay. What does he say?
He keeps yelling, hurry up, do what we're saying, and no one will get hurt.
Okay.
And then he takes me down the stairs. And the lights on the main floor were all turned off. We take... My stairs are a little curved, and we just went... He made me, pushed me down by my shoulders and told me to sit on the floor.
Do you feel the gun? Is he using his hand?
He's using his hand to lead me down the stairs and force me to sit down. Only one hand.
Okay. You see the gun again?
At this point, I'm looking down and he's behind me, so
Okay.
I don't see his gun. But I can see there's two other shadows, and I can see from where I was standing, my father was sitting on the right, and my mother was sitting on the left.
Sitting where?
On a couch, on our couch.
Sitting on the couch. Are they looking out towards you?
No, their backs are towards me.
Okay. And you're now on the ground level? Are you on the floor? Or on the
I'm
sitting on the
the
stair?
floor. I'm sitting on the floor.
All right, where are your hands?
They had tied my hands,
So let's
as
go.
I said.
Let's go back up to the stairs. Remember, we said take the other statement and whatever we said before.
No, I said it earlier.
Okay, then we must let's get back to that area. I think you might have touched on it. We went back into the description. So where do you get your hands tied, and where does the string come from?
I'm not sure where the string comes from, but he had the string.
Okay.
And after I gave him my money, that's when he tied my hands.
And how did that happen? Where were you, in the room, in the hallway? Where did
He
that
told me to sit down on the edge of my bed,
happen? Yes.
and that's when I opened. He showed me, and I pulled open my drawer, my dresser, and he saw the money and he picked it up, my book, and then he opened up the book and grabbed the cash, put it in his pocket.
Okay.
At this point, he still has the gun pointing towards me. And
You're doing great. You're doing fabulous. Okay. So he's got the gun pointed at you. And how do the hands get behind your back?
He told me to put my hands behind my back.
Okay. Continue.
I believe he had... I'm sorry, I'm just trying to be 100% certain. And it's pieces that I'm...
Then roll through them. We'll put the pieces together. You've got the money out of the drawer. Open the drawer.
He had put it in his pocket. I'm sitting on my bed.
Yes.
And he had told me to put my hands behind my back.
Okay.
But it was dark. So I believe he told me to stand up so he could tie my hands together. And I was trying to make it loose so I could do something. But he had pulled them so tight. And he made sure I squealed before he let go.
Is your TV on? Okay.
My TV's on the whole time.
Okay. So you've squealed, they're tight, and they're behind your back.
And that's when he grabs me and starts leading me down the stairs.
Okay. Does he pat you down or search you or do anything?
Thank goodness, no. Because if he had pat me down, he would have found my phone.
Okay. So you're now down at the bottom of the stairs. At this point in time, you've only seen one person, or have you seen the others before you get to the bottom of the stairs?
Before I get to the bottom of the stairs, I had seen one person.
Okay. So now you're at the bottom of the stairs.
And he keeps telling these guys to hurry up, it's taking too long. And he told me to look down, but I was able to see out of my peripheral. A man that I will call number 3 because I associated with him the least. He had a gun pointed at my father, asking him if he had money in his wallet and where the money was in the house. And he asked my father how much he had in his wallet. And my father answered him $60. And he kept yelling, "You better not be lying to me. Is there more? Where is the rest?" And another person who was hiding behind the wall in the kitchen, from where I stood, I couldn't see him at first. He was asking my mother where her purse was.
So hang on a second. Who is this? Is this another guy? Is this a number? You've gone from a number 1 to a number 3.
Yes, I call this guy number 2.
Okay, so number 3. Let's stick with number 3. What can you describe of him, if anything, including the gun?
I can only see that there was a round, kind of like a revolver. Sorry.
That's okay. Remember, if you have to stop and take some deep breaths, that really does help the process. Any interaction, any communication going on between you and number 1 and number 2 while you're being bound?
My mother's calling for me.
Okay.
And they keep saying that to shut up.
Who's saying that to who?
Number 3 is downstairs and she's telling her to shut up.
She's telling him to shut up. What's your dad doing?
I can't hear my father.
Okay. You're now bound to the railing. Can you show me? Can you stand up and turn around and tell me? Just show on the camera how your hands are bound and how you are against the railing. You don't have to sit down. I just need to see how you were.
Just tell you.
The only reason that I need to do this is that I'm also going to ask you so take this back take it out of a traumatizing event, which it is, and put yourself into a more clinical position, because I want to see how you could physically get your phone out of your waistband. We're obviously going to need to know that. It's very important. So traumatize away. Now put yourself into just a state of, I need to mechanically show how I can get access to my phone. Okay? Because that's obviously very relevant. We know you made the phone call, but questions are going to obviously raise is that if my hands are bound and I'm against the railing, how do I talk to a 911 operator? Okay? So clinically, this is now a clinical demonstration. Just stand up, focus in on how you did it. And I want you to stick that in your waistband as an example. Okay, so just take your sweater off, because this will be a very smooth, very quick thing. It's a one-time demonstration. I'm not going to ask you to repeat it, but I need to go through it. Okay, so just take your sweater off. Stand up and turn around. Put this in the side that you believe it was in. Great. Turn around so that you're looking away from me. You're looking exactly like, now here is where the banister is. Put your hands back behind your back, exactly how you remember they were. Okay? Now, and are you restrained from movement? How far can you move your hands from the banister?
They tied my upper arm.
Yes?
Around the banister.
Yes?
But my hands are bound together.
So your hands bound together, and this is the arm that's the strings wrapped around against the banister?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now how can you get to the phone? And how do you make the phone call? 911?
Mm-hmm.
And do you talk down like that?
Yes, I'm yelling at the phone like this.
And how can you hear?
I turned the volume on max.
Yes? So that's exactly the way that you're talking to her against the railing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good enough. Sit down. Put your sweater back on. You just put your sweater. Yeah. You want some more water?
I'm okay.
Okay. I really appreciate that. Obviously, it's very important to see it because we can't put you. It would be absolutely physically impossible to put you back into the same position, but we just needed to see how you get the phone out and make the call. Okay, so sit back, take a couple of deep breaths again. When you're up against the railing and now you've been bound, and is number 2 and number 1 still there, or are they gone?
Number 1 was there for a little bit. Number 2 ran down the stairs.
What is number 1? Is he saying anything to you?
He's saying you obeyed and just shut up and don't move. And he continues yelling downstairs, hurry up. Hurry up, it's taking too long, hurry up.
Now tell me something, okay, which is kind of important. There's a safe in the house, is there not? Safe is in a fairly visible place within your parents' bedroom, is it not?
It's inside their closet.
Fairly visible, at least from the pictures. Was there ever mention of wanting the combination to that safe? Through any of the interaction of 1, 2, and 3, did they know that there was a safe in place?
I'm not aware if they knew.
Okay.
I didn't.
So you never heard any of them demanding the safe, the combination to the safe? Was there anything else they were demanding in their yelling? Was it what was the focus of what they were looking for?
Cash.
Cash. Okay. So number 1's talking to you. You obeyed. and we need to go, we need to go. And where does he go from that point in time?
He's yelling down the stairs, "Is there more?" And number 2, I can just hear him muffling something. I don't hear him clearly.
Number 2 or number 3?
No, sorry, number 3. Number
Okay.
3. I'm sorry. Number 3.
Okay.
It's just a murr, but I can't hear what he's saying.
Okay.
At this point, I start hearing my parents get up. And they're moving. And my mom's yelling, "Where's my daughter? I want my daughter. Where's my daughter?" And I'm yelling, "Mom, I'm here."
Are they saying anything to your parents? I know she's yelling to you. Okay, she's yelling to you. Are they saying anything? Like, are they giving them directions as to where they're going? Or can you remember?
All I can hear is my mom right now.
Okay. So you hear them get up and you're moving, and they're moving in what direction?
Towards the basement.
Okay. Are you still hearing 1 and 2 or 1 and 3? Are you hearing all 3 of them?
Number 1.
And what's he saying?
Hurry up. Is there more?
Okay.
At this point, he throws my glasses. Then he walks down the stairs.
So he's still up there with you. When do you and at this? So you've had your glasses on the whole time. When does he take them off?
Right before he leaves.
Right after. So you're tied to the banister. You're just before he leaves to go down the stairs. Your glasses are off. You have had your glasses on the whole time prior to that. Okay. So now you hear your parents up and they're moving towards the basement. Do you hear? What do you hear?
Where's the rest of the money?
Whose voice?
The one with the Caribbean accent.
Number 3. Who we've called number 3.
Yes.
Where's the rest of the money? Is that as you hear your parents moving?
I can hear them stepping down the stairs.
Okay.
Then, after number 1 joins them, after he took my glasses,
You heard him go down the stairs as well?
number 1 then left me,
Yes.
and he went down the stairs. And I asked, my mom was still calling for me, and I wanted to go, and he says no.
Okay, hang on a second. Hang on. So you hear number 1 say no to your response, to your demand of wanting to go. Do you hear the questions coming, or your mom saying, where is she, where is she? Are they starting to go down to the basement? Are they on the stairs leading to the basement? Can you hear, I'm going to ask you to focus in, because it's very difficult. I'm going to ask you to focus in. Are you hearing all of them going downstairs? Can you hear that many footsteps? That's 5 sets of steps. Because if your mom is moving down to the basement with these guys, and number 1 is walking down to join them, he would be later. He would be walking down. Does he go down to the basement, or do you know? Can't tell. Here, Jennifer, take a Kleenex and just take a minute. Okay. So we're now down in the basement. They're down in the, you know your parents are down in the basement. You don't know who's down there with them. You can't tell how many people went down. You know that number one left and was heading down in that direction, but you don't know by footsteps who's down there.
I wasn't paying attention.
That's all right. Whose voices can you hear now down in the basement?
I just remember number 3 saying, "You lied. There's more. Where is it? You lied. You're lying."
Okay. And then what do you hear?
I heard pop. And then my mom, I heard her squeal.
So do you hear one pop or do you hear two?
That's what I can't remember.
Then don't, it's one or two? Okay. And then you hear your mom squeal. And then what do you hear?
Another 1 or 2 pops.
Do you hear any voices in between other than your mom squealing? Do you hear number 3 say anything?
All I can remember was like calling for her.
Okay. Don't apologize, okay? This is nothing to apologize to me for. This is something that you're trying to remember. So you heard a pop, you heard your mom squeal, and then you heard another. Any idea how many more pops you heard?
I just remember that I heard 1 or 2, and then there was a slight break. And there was 1 more. I don't remember if it was 2 and then break and then 1, or if it was 1 and then break and then 1.
Okay. So you're saying that you heard a total of how many pops? Guessing.
4 or 5.
4 or 5. Okay, so you hear, after those popping noises, what do you hear? After the last popping noise you've heard, what do you hear?
That's it. It's too long, let's go. From number 1.
That's it? It's too long, let's go? Okay.
And then I just hear a bunch of foots going.
Does it sound like they're obviously coming? Does it sound coming up the stairs? Do you know where they leave?
The official story seemed unbelievable until police spoke with the only survivor, Jennifer's father. He remembered something that detectives never expected. Something that made investigators question whether Jennifer had ever been a victim at all. According to evidence presented in court, 3 men entered the Penn family home. Within moments, the quiet house erupted into chaos. Jennifer later told police that strangers forced their way inside. She claimed they had tied her hands behind her back, dragged her through the house, and demanded money. That observation alone wasn't proof of anything, but it was the beginning of a much larger pattern. Then came another discovery: expensive jewelry still inside the house, cash, untouched electronics left behind. If robbery had been the motive, why had nothing valuable disappeared? The scene didn't fit. It wasn't impossible, just unusual. Every answer investigators found created another question. And then they interviewed the only survivor, Jennifer's father. Hui Han Pen had been shot in the face. Doctors weren't certain he would survive. For days, he couldn't tell investigators what had happened. But once he regained consciousness, his memory became one of the most important pieces of evidence in the entire case. Something that completely changed the direction of the investigation. According to investigators, he said Jennifer had not been taken upstairs like she claimed. She had been downstairs moving freely. Detectives now had two complete different versions of the same night. One from Jennifer, another from her father.
Text message, you go down, you do the door, you go back upstairs, and what do?
Call ahead.
Okay, why do you call him?
What I usually do.
Okay. What were you expecting to happen next?
I honestly, I don't know. Because he didn't tell me anything, he just let me do me, but I didn't know how he was going to do anything.
Okay, what else did he say on the phone? Like how, like he must have told you we're around the corner or something.
No.
Did he tell you how long?
No.
Okay, but it was on for that night. He had game on the text.
Yes.
Okay. What did you do with those text messages?
I think I could read them.
Okay, and the phone that you were you using two phones that night?
Yeah.
Okay, you have to sit up because I can't hear you here. You were using two phones, okay.
Yeah.
So the phone you were talking to with Andrew on was what phone?
Samsung.
And the one you were talking to them on was what?
The iPhone.
The iPhone, okay. And then, did you ever talk to them on the Samsung?
Never.
Okay. Now, what next?
And everything else that happened next week had said.
Okay. Now, look at me, Jen. You're almost there. Okay? Most of what happened in the house happened. Okay? We know that. Okay? You gave a description of a black guy with dreads. There was no black guy with dreads in there. Okay? We know that. Okay? We know that because your dad's not going to miss that. Okay? He gave a good description of the guy that you were with, and he's not even black. So tell me about that. Honestly, Jen, that's exactly, you got to be up front here. Okay?
Honestly, that's
because obviously you didn't want to tell us everything because there was a plan. You didn't tell us that night either. Okay? So
everything
now,
else that happened
okay,
after that is.
that guy with dreadlocks was never there. Okay? So why did you say that?
But that's what I remember.
Okay, you can't mix that guy up with the description your dad gave. He's not even the same color. Right?
But that's
Tell me why you said guy with dreadlocks.
because that's who I
Because there
saw.
was no guy with dreadlocks there, Jen. That's the problem here. Okay? That's the problem. Okay, now, the issue here is this, and you have to look at me. Okay? Your dad wasn't supposed to be a witness. Okay? That's where this whole thing went wrong. Okay? Your dad wasn't supposed to live. Okay? And when he did live, he was able to tell us what really happened that night. Okay? Which was in conflict with what you told us. Okay? Seriously in conflict. Okay? You had all these things about number 2 going upstairs and everything else. Number 2 was down there with a gun on your mom. Number 3 was down, he didn't. Okay? We know that never happened. Okay? I don't want to argue about it. Okay? I'm not going to argue about
But
it.
I've already gone this
Okay.
far.
You've gone this far, but that doesn't mean, okay, what, now, let's get it all straightened out, because this is a total half and half. We're there again, just like the school, just like everything else. This is how you deal with pressure, okay? What people don't understand is when people tell half-truths. They recognize it right away. They recognize that that's not what really happened. Okay, that's not what really happened. Okay? You've spent a lifetime trying to get around people, and all it has ever done is hurt you more, Jen. You missed out on an education because you tried to fake it, okay? You missed out on things that made you want to kill yourself. And you realize that. And it reached a low point, to the point where if you don't care about yourself, you can't care about other people. You know what I mean? You can't care for other people if you can't love yourself. And that's where this got to, Jen. And I don't blame you. But we need to understand this together, right? we need to have a resolution here. Okay? Stuck. Okay. Can we understand each other, Jen? Okay? You've told so much of the truth, you're just not telling the final portion. This isn't even half-truths anymore. This is 3/4. Okay? The only thing missing is 1/4 of the truth. Okay? The rest is true. Okay? We know that. Okay? We know you got the text. You know that you gave the go-ahead. Okay? But the go-ahead wasn't for yourself. That's what's at issue here, Jen. We're going to sit down here and work through this together. Okay? We're going to work this out. We're going to get the full truth, because you know what? The full truth is only 100%. Not 75%, not 90, not 99. 100% everything that really happened that night. Okay, Jen? All right? Let's do it together. Okay, you did.
I don't understand why it doesn't add up.
Why it doesn't add up is because that's not what happened. Okay? The truth will add up. Half-truths don't add up. That's all they ever are, is half-truths. I need you to listen close to me, okay, Jen? At this point in the investigation, okay, I'm going to be arresting you for murder. Okay? Also attempted murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Do you understand that? Just have to tell me if you understand those charges. Just say yes or no. Yes. Okay. It is my duty to inform you that you have the right to retain and instruct counsel without delay. Do you understand that? And what does that mean to you?
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. You also have the right to telephone any lawyer you wish. Do you understand that? Yes. You also have the right to free advice from a legal aid lawyer. Do you understand that? 1-800-265-0451 is a toll-free number. You have to listen here. So can you take your hands off your ears? I need you to listen. There's a toll-free number that will put you in contact with a legal aid lawyer for free legal advice. Do you understand that? So you can speak to a legal aid lawyer right now, or a lawyer of your choice if you like. Do you understand that? Do you wish to call a lawyer now? Yes?
More than 3 years after the shooting, the investigation entered its final stage, the courtroom. For weeks, every piece of evidence collected by investigators will be examined, every eyewitness questioned. On December 13, 2014, the verdict was delivered. Jennifer Pan, Daniel Wong, Lenford Crawford, and Eric Carty were all found guilty of first-degree murder in the death of Beach Pan, and attempted murder in the shooting of Hui Pan. The jury accepted the prosecution's case that the attack had been planned. Each received a sentence of life, with parole eligibility after 25 years under Canadian law. For investigators, it marked the end of a years-long case. For Jennifer's father, the verdict closed one chapter, but not the pain.